Open forum po. We will start po, maybe we could start ma'am with the initial question posted on the chat box. So from Executive Director Sayo, what will happen to the DSWD if sectoral programs are devolved?
Thank you very much, sir, for that query. For the DSWD, it will now have to focus its role or function in steering, meaning we have now to be giving more technical assistance to our local government units and some resources that will have to be discussed on how this will be shared with our local government units. But generally, we will be doing more steering roles rather than implementation. Of course, we will have some programs that will not be devolved. We all are aware that the director of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino is here, so that is one of the programs that will not be devolved. But most of our programs will already be given. So more of our program, we will be now focusing on policies, development of programs, demonstrations, and monitoring and evaluation, which is the biggest role, I believe. And of course, we will have to do regulatory functions. So yan po yung main na functions na gagawin po ng departamento once na magkakaroon po tayo ng devolution in 2022. I hope that answers the question of our good gentleman.
Thank you, ma'am. So at this point po, maybe we could hear from other members po of the leagues. Or you could also use the chat box po or raise your hand. May we hear po if there are comments or queries from Honorable Tua and Honorable Velasco.
Good afternoon, ASEC Josie.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. First, thank you for this dialogue, and good afternoon then to Governor Velasco, who is the chairman of the ULAP and the president of LPP, and the other officials. Siguro ang nakikita namin na direction nyo ng devolution is acceptable, but ang concern talaga, kung pwede ko pong diretsuhin, ay yung bigat ng magiging staffing requirements, no? So especially for the lower income class LGUs, hirap na sila sa keeping within their PS cap, and maliit din talaga kanilang budget at paano nila ma-maneuver yung mga requirements na yan. And one thing that we've seen to be sensible in other national programs is that kung medyo wide ang scope ng program, ipamahala talaga dun sa higher tier local government, for example, province. No? So that's what we do with DOH and other agencies na may mga microscopic concerns at meron din medyo macroscopic concerns. So yung una po talaga yung staffing requirements that will be have an impact on our local finances and our compliance with the PS code. So can you discuss a little more about this, or is there an exemption from the PS cap, or Or has there been an evaluation kung certain functions will be heavier for the province and some will be heavier for the municipality? Meron po bang naging ganun ng analysis?
Thank you very much, Governor. Actually, sir, we are ongoing discussions with DBM and DILG that we were also talking the same line with you relative to the PS Cup, because we are aware that even if we will be able, even if the LGUs will be willing to hire people, they could not be able to do so because of the PS Cap. So I think DBM is looking into that. They are coming up with the guidelines. So, and it's talking about how to do this with the ILG. Relative po sa kanino po yung mga positions, as you mentioned, Gov, pwede pong, yun po yung bina-work out namin din, yung mga positions kung ano po yung para sa province, ano po yung para sa municipality, ano po yung para sa cities, kung ilan po yung kakayanin ng mga provinces and cities, depending din po, sir, sa ating mga class. So ang mga problematic sigurado ay yung ating 5th and 6th class municipalities, as you have mentioned, sir. So yung po, sir, yung work out natin, and we are very happy, sir, na kayo yung nagsabi, so that pagka po sa transition plan natin, magkapareho po, sir, yung aming gagawin, at yun po yung hinihingi din namin na sana ilabas din ng ating mga LGUs sa kanilang transition plan. Para pagka magsabay po sila, at least, sir, pareho yung ating kanta. Yun po yung actually, sir, dahilan kung bakit po namin nagtawag sa inyo ng dialogue o kaya consultation para po sa ganun, sir, ay isa po sana yung ating din tinatahak. Kami po ay humihingi ng tulong nyo, actually, kasi para po malaman din natin lahat kung paano ito, yung pathway po natin for this is very clear po. So we really appreciate, sir, that nanggaling po sa inyo yan. Salamat po, sir.
Ma'am, pwede po bang makita ulit yung inyong slide on devolution programs devolved? Kasi meron doon mga fully devolved na nilagay kayo. Pwede po bang ma-review
Sure,
ulit?
Yes, sir. Sir, ito po siya.
Okay. So, street children, fully devolved. Assistance to PWDs, fully devolved. Assistance o AX, full devolution. Does that mean wala ng AX na kumbaga wala na magiging SWAD that functions as the arm of the national government to give AX? Yun ba ibig sabihin? No?
Sir, kasi, sir, meron pa rin pinag-iisipan, sir, na magkakaroon ng similar program, but very limited na lang po siya during disasters, at saka if yung mga tao po na inter-regional na nangangailangan na kunyari mga na-stranded at hindi talaga ayaw bigyan ng mga kung saan sila nakatira, yun po, sir. Bale, yung mga special cases na lang po ang mabibigyan ng assistance. But it is still being studied po, but it will not be AX, will not be called probably or another nomenclature, sir, for AX, but yun po, sir. Probably there will be, but not as big as the AX of now, and because we will be fully devolving it already, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Kasi ang concern ko, I have two concerns dun sa question na yon about AX, if I may continue. Una kasi, pag bumaba sa amin yung Mandanas ruling, it's not as if we have full flexibility to allocate, let's say 50%, 80% of that additional money to AIX. No? Hindi namin control yun eh. Kasi 45 to 55% will go to RPS, 20% will go to our development, then they have the statutory na mga GAD, etc., peace and order, anti-drug. Ang dami namin mga mandatory allocations. So hindi sure na marami doon ay pupunta. Hindi namin pa ma-determine how much of that will go to AIX. And if there will be no national government possible augmentation in the future, baka mag-suffer yung service to the people. So siguro, the question really is, are you going to maintain, even if it's not called AIX, I heard what you said, even if it's not called AIX, sana mag-maintain ng DSWD ng flexible fund to aid LGUs, like you said, in certain situations like disasters or public health emergency. And that's the first concern. No? And the second concern is, does this mean that kasi sa ngayon meron nga kayong SWAD. The SWAD is actually doing parallel work with the LGU, na yung social welfare office ng LGU nagbibigay ng services, and then the SWAD can still come in parallel to give additional or similar services. So mawawala na ba yung arm na yon, or i-maintain nyo? Ako personally, I don't mind if it's maintained, but that also means you will maintain personnel to have that also.
As of this time, sir, yun yung pinag-uusapan, sir, sa reorganization, kasi we will really have to reorganize, sir, the whole of the DSWD, considering that we will be devolving a lot of our programs. But if they will be maintained, it will be really more on the technical assistance side. So maybe yun po yung pinag-iisipan ngayon, sir, kung paano siya gagawin. But not to implement anymore, except siguro dahil nga po yung 4Ps nasa DSWD pa rin, probably yun pa lang, sir, ang more or less may iwan. At yung ibang functions, yung pa, sir, yung kailangan himayin at tignan kung paano po siya. Like the SLP, ma-ide-devolve na rin siya, sir. So kung paano po yung pag-monitor, pagtulong, pagbigay ng TA, yung pa lang, sir, yung pinag-uusapan ngayon. Pero sigurado po, sir, is liliit po siya. Liliit po yung aming mga personnel sa ground.
Yung budget po kaya, ASEC, paano po yung budget niyo for AIX or similar funds? Pati na rin itong SLP, yung livelihood programs niyo.
Maybe, sir, para mas klaro, I think with SLP, we have the director of SLPs, Director Riasti, if you could allow him, sir, to explain. Yes, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Gob. Director Riasti po ng SLP. So, ang pinag-usapan namin sa DBM, for 2022, we have proposed our budget. So, if this will be approved and the devolution will commence in 2022, so ito po yung matransfer ng DBM to the local government units. Succeeding years, wala na kaming budget na ipopropose, so it will be taken now to the increased internal revenue allocation of each LGU. So iyon po ang initial na napag-usapan ng DBM with us, Governor. Iyon po. Opo. So we are hoping na yung proposal namin ay ma-approve for 2022. So yun yung amount for SLP ang madidevolve po sa ating local government units.
Pag sinabi niyo yun, Sir Leslie, ang ibig sabihin ba yung amount na yung let's say for 2021 may budget kayo for SLP. How much is 2021?
Ang 4.2 billion po yung aming, the whole Philippines na po yun. So spread out among the regional offices. Opo.
Thank you, sir. So yung 2022 po, 4.2 pa rin, a little more.
A little more, 4.2. Pero ang ibinigay sa amin ng DBM na-recommend ay only 2 billion. So we propose for tier 2. So yun ang hindi namin alam kung itong variance ng aming 2021 vis-a-vis doon sa kanilang ni-recommend na tier 1 ay maibigay po sa amin. So dependent po kami, opo.
Yung kung mabigyan kayo ng 2 billion or 4 billion as whatever the final version of the budget will pass, sino magmamanage po nun? Kayo pa rin po sa DSWD?
Kung i-release sa amin, kami ang magmamanage, pero with the Mandanas implementation, baka hindi na i-release po sa amin, Gob. So hindi pa po namin talaga clear kung ano yung magiging hitsura comes 2022.
Okay po. Okay po. Kasi yun lang po ang concern kung hindi po, kasi we basically ang gusto lang po naming ipaabot, we welcome the fact that you are devolving the function na ibibigay nyo sa amin yung tungkulin to execute and implement programs. Okay naman po yun. Ang sana lang po yung pondo ay hindi bumawas kasi ang magsasuffer po doon yung constituents pag yung program funds ay bumawas. Kasi nga po, yung dinidevolve sa amin na pondo, let's say 4.2 billion ninyo, ay binigay sa amin as NTA or IRA, hindi naman yung 4.2 billion na lahat pwede namin gamitin for SLP halimbawa. Kasi nga, 50% of that will go to salaries, 20% will go to development, and others mandatory.
Yes, admin cost, opo.
So kung lumiit po yung program fund na pwede naming ilagay for SLP, ang pinakakawawa po doon yung mga mamamayan po. Yun po yung gusto namin ipaalala rin po.
Sige po, ano naman, gaya ng sinasabi ni Asik Joyce, ongoing po yung discussions to finalize kasi nga, kawawa nga naman, sabi nga namin mag-devolution tayo, we don't want na meron tayong ma-displace na mga staff at meron namang mga beneficiaries na hindi rin maka-avail po. So ang gusto naman natin, di ba, na mabigyan talaga sila ng tulong. So we hope na on the side ng DBM, ito po ay makikita po nila na kung pwede po na increasean pa rin because of the IRA. So we will hope for that. Go. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Sir Steve. Ma'am Josie, last na po ako. Basically, ganun po yung aking concern. Pagka kasi naging IRA na siya, marami na siyang, kumbaga, mandatory obligations. Yung pong persons for older persons, full devolution, transition to National Commission of Senior Citizens, paano po yung binibigay nating allowance to senior citizens from DSWD? Paano po ninyo planong i-implement po yun?
Thank you, sir. Sir, our director for that is here, Director Wilma Nabiamas. If you would allow her to discuss this with you, sir.
Sure.
Director, thank you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Gob. Si Director Wilma po ito. Gob, gusto ko lang liwanagin yung pong social pension po ba yon, yung grant, yung gusto
Yes,
nyong sabihin? Yes po, lahat po ito ay full for transfer to the function of the National Commission of Senior Citizen. Nasa transitioning na rin po kami para i-transfer po yung entire program for older person, including social pension for indigent senior citizen, yung pong centenarian na 100,000 grant for 100 years old and other programs for older person.
So
Yes,
hindi
ma'am.
na po LGU yun, ma'am? Hindi na po.
Yes po, sila na po yung magmamanage ng lahat ng program, pati po yung policies for older person, Gov.
Okay. So, ano po yun? Is it a national government body?
Creation po yon ng na executive order po ng creation of the National Republic Act on the creation of the National Commission for Senior Citizens, sir. And meron na po silang commissioner at chairperson ngayon. Meron pong tinayo si Secretary Bautista na change management transition team headed by two undersecretaries and the concerned directors of the DSWD so that we can have a smooth transition to the National Commission. Go.
Last na lang po. So, I would presume that since it's a new commission, baka wala pa silang tao sa bawat locality at so how do they implement the social pension? Will they directly implement by downloading to the scan and the OSCA, or do they still have to collaborate with the LGU?
Yes, sir. Yung National Commission po ngayon, because we are transitioning some of the requirements that they need to prepare for the commission so that they can parang be ready or prepared to accept the entire program. Medyo na-overwhelm po talaga sila in its entirety. Dito pa lang sa social pension for indigent senior citizen, ang laki na ng ima-manage nilang funding. So initially po, meron na kaming maraming consultations and turnover sa kanila na ito yung extent ng manpower na ita-transfer natin sa kanila. Meron po tayo, Gov, na a number of staff in the program management under the Bureau na ita-transfer sa kanila, pati na rin po yung atin pong mga staff sa field offices, pati po yung ating center, 4 na centers for older person, malalaking centers po ito. Ngayon po, yung pong extent ng kanilang manpower requirement at the municipal level, yan po yung pinag-aaralan ng National Commission para po mai-ready nila ano ba yung manpower, personnel, fund requirement nila in all the local government unit, including the regional level. So they're moving into it, Gov, no? They are preparing for it. Although 4 pa lang sila, by law, it should be 6 para medyo ano na sila, although medyo nasa quorum na sila ngayon to decide on these things. They already have prepared their transition organizational structure at the commission level, and they're moving by levels now. Just to update you, Go for that.
Okay, sige po ma'am. So we'll await na lang updates on this na kasi nakalagay po dito full devolution. So iniisip namin ibababa ba sa amin ito o ibababa ba ng National Commission, or
Yes.
does the National Commission and the LGU work together? Hindi, yun lang po ang basically ang kinaklarify ko po.
Yes po, Gov. Just a bit of information. Actually, the Commission is doing some little consultations po sa mga Federation of Senior Citizens at the LGU level. I think they are moving to provincial level consultation of the Federation so that perhaps they can figure out their own personal requirement. Gov. Thank you po.
Thank you po, ma'am. Asek, I think that's my questions for now. I'm sure our colleague, si Governor Presby Velasco, might have very, very important questions. Also, thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Governor. We appreciated it too. At least we learned what your thoughts are on this. Thank you, sir. So may we have Governor Velasco, sir?
Yes. Good afternoon to one and all, especially to my partner, Dax Kua, our National President of ULAP and National Chairman of the League of Provinces. And to all our representatives from the different leagues and officials of the DSWD family. First question, I just based this on section 17, no? And in the draft executive order on devolution, there's mention there of other pertinent laws. So I just want to limit the devolution first to those functions covered by section 17. I would just like to go over this one by one, no? I refer to section 2.4, no? And it states social welfare services, which include programs and projects on child and youth welfare, family and community welfare, women's welfare, welfare of the elderly and the disabled persons, community-based rehabilitation programs for vagrants, beggars, street children, scavengers, juvenile delinquents and victims of drug abuse, livelihood, and other poor projects, nutrition services, family planning services. Are these services under section 2.4 to be devolved under your devolution plan? You're familiar with the section 2.4 and I read it, no? So will all these services, functions rather, be covered by the devolution plan? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir. Actually, sir, the devolved, like the devolved functions, sir, that we have shown on the screen earlier, are the programs that will be devolved. Because, sir, yung minention niyo po kanina, ito po yung dapat na devolved na po ito noong pang 1991. Kaya lang, sir, meron ng mga programs na hinandle pa rin ang department. Kaya po, kagaya, sir, ng children, meron pa rin sa amin, meron pa rin kami, sir, sa women o kaya sa persons with disabilities na mga sineserve. Pero, sir, this already will now be transferred fully. Actually, parang redevolution po ito, parang devolution part 2, because this was already written on the law under 1991 devolution po. So ito po ay rini-reiterate lang ng Mandanas ruling. Kaya po, sir, yung sa DSWD, hindi na po siya pwedeng mag-implement ng mga dapat na na-devolve na programs. So yung pong pinakita namin kanina, ito po yung mga dapat na-devolve na. Pero hindi, meron pa rin hinawakan ang department na i-implement po. So ngayon po, sir, dahil po sa Mandanas ruling, reiterate po sa mga NGAs na dapat lang na i-devolve yung dapat na devolve. So yun po, sir. So yung sinabi niyo po ay nandyan, nasa screen po siya as you have read it, sir.
Yeah, right. So you're saying some of these functions covered by 2.4 were already fully devolved before.
Yes, sir.
So what remains are those listed in your slide, like
yes, sir.
Project for Street Children, PWD, AIX, and then RPTP, SLP, At saka yung programs for older persons, although that will go to the National Commission of Senior Citizens.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my impression is that these services in relation to the comprehensive project for street children, PWD, AIX, and the traffic persons, and the SLP were partially devolved. Is that it?
Yes.
That's why you want the devolution to be fully implemented now. There are some services that remain with the regional offices or the national agency. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. You're right, sir. That was what happened, sir.
Oo.
Ang original talaga, sir, dapat lahat yan na-devolve na fully. Pero along the way, sir, during this time, sir, may mga programs na were actually not, parang hindi dapat na-retain, but we have to address it because during that time, sir, yung mga na-devolve na programs were not fully implemented by the LGUs. So it was like an augmentation supposed to be, sir.
Yeah, can you just explain yung, like for example, the project for street children? What particular services are now being performed or handled by the provincial SWDO? And what are the functions that remain with the regional agencies that you want to be devolved now? What's the difference? Because as far as I am told, these are all being performed already by the provincial office. So, what are the functions being performed by the provincial offices in relation to project for street children, and what are the functions or services that you want to be downloaded to us now? What's the difference? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Naka-mute po.
Kasi para sa
Yes,
inyo,
sir.
we are performing these services in relation to the street children project. And now you're saying it's full devolution. The impression is some services will remain with the regional offices. What specifically are these services that you want to devolve to us now? Ano yun?
Okay. Yes, sir. Sir, could you allow me to call on Regional Director Maris?
Sige.
Maristela? Yes, sir. Director, saan ka na? Director Maris? Director Maris of Region 3?
Ay, hello, sorry, Asek. Nag-a-attend nito, tapos nag-multitask. Sorry po, may I be refreshed? Ano po yung, concerns?
Yes, the question of our good governor is, what is the difference of the project, comprehensive project for street children that we are devolving when actually the local government units are already doing this, especially the provincial level. So ano daw po ba yung ating dinedevolve dito sa comprehensive project for street children?
Okay, good afternoon po, everyone. Good afternoon po, Gob. As far as I know, the concern on street children is already devolved to the local government units. But then, there are also some special projects that the department is doing in light of the sector for the street children. So, yun po yung mga maliliit na lang po itong mga initiatives na as well as yung mga social technologies din po na develop in the past addressing the concerns of the street children. I believe ito po yung madidevolve pa sa ating mga local government units.
So, Director, there are certain programs that are being handled by the regional offices, and the provincial office does not have any participation in it at all. Now, by 2022, you want us to handle this particular programs for street children, no?
If I may, sir, if I may, usually naman po, yung mga ganitong mga initiatives naman po is always coordinated rin po doon sa mga concerned local government units as we implement po those mga project and activities addressing the street children.
Yeah, and that's what I was told, that we're actually handling almost all the projects and programs for street children. So there's nothing really new that will be devolved. It's actually practically the same services we render with respect to these projects that you want to be implemented. No, so it's practically the same with respect to the projects for street children, right?
More likely, sir, baka yung mga recent, mga recent initiatives na lang po ang maibaba pa na mga dinevelop din ng department.
So, but it's the new initiatives. We have not implemented that, and that you have not set aside certain funds for that yet, no? So, medyo on that score, it will appear that we will be additionally burdened financially if you will now just unload it to us in 2022. No, it's just a comment. No, it's just an observation. Now, with respect to the projects or programs relating to AICs, no, rather persons with disabilities. What are is there any difference between the services that are being handled by the provincial level now with respect to PWDs and the other services that you intend to download so that there can be full devolution? It's practically the same question, because our view is that we are actually handling almost all these programs and projects for PWDs, no? So bakit sasabihin pang full devolution when we're actually performing these functions already? Meron bang difference yung before and after? Diba? Yung now and by 2022, anong specific functions yan that will have to be devolved to us when we feel that we practically are involved in all these for PWDs.
Yes, Gob. Actually, kaya nga po, actually lahat dapat ito po na-devolve talaga. Kaya lang, sir, may mga naiwan na mga special programs kagaya po ng street children which was only implemented to few regions. Now, we will be devolving the programs. Tapos yung sa assistance to persons with disabilities, sir, totoo din po yun, sir, na nasa LGU na po halos lahat. Ang binibigay lang po ng department is yung assistive devices. More or less yun lang po ang parang ide-devolve. Parang wala na po. Yeah. Wala na kaming itutulong sa mga street children, hindi na rin kami tutulong sa persons with disabilities. Parang ganun lang, sir.
Yeah,
kasi as of now, sir, we are still catering, sir.
Yeah, but with regard to the assistive devices, that's a part of the program. That's not part of the service. Diba? So, there is a separate budget for that. And we will not be burdened with that, definitely, because we're talking only of services here, diba? So practically, with respect to persons with disabilities, the services are practically the same. The ones that we're doing right now and the ones that will be performing in 2022 will actually be the same. There's no real difference at all. Tama ba yun? Except nga yung assistive devices na sinasabi mo. But that's not part of the service. That's part of the program. Yan yung mga pinamimigay nyo kasi. Diba?
Yes, sir. Tama po, sir.
Sige, okay.
Kaya po, it's the services, sir, na yung ating i-devolve is yung mga services, sir, na naiwan pa, sir, sa departamento.
Yes, yes.
Yes
Kasi,
po.
you're asking us to increase our manpower. And as correctly pointed out by GovDoc Kua, meron kami mga PS Cup, meron na kaming our budget outside of the PS are really regulated and controlled because of the different requirements under the different laws, di ba? May 20% sa development projects, may mga ganyan, 5% sa DREAM, yung ganon-ganon, dami. So, pag nagdagdag pa kami dyan, talagang we may have a problem with regard to our PS, di ba? Now, I just want to be clarified with all these things. With respect to the assistance to individuals in crisis situation, we are practically rendering all the services with regards to AIX. And then it says here, full devolution. So the impression is there are services that still remain with the regional offices or the national agency, and you want to give that to us. Kaya nga, I've been trying to just seek a clarification. Ano ba yung ibababa yung services with respect to AIX? Meron pa ba?
Sir, actually, sir, yung sa assistance to individual in crisis situation, totoo po, sir, na meron na po kayo dyan sa LGUs ginagawa din. Ang nangyari po kasi, sir, kahit dito sa national, sa regional, at saka sa central, nagbibigay pa rin po ng augmentation sa AIX. Para po yung nangyari po is yung kung kulang po yung binibigay sa local government, nagbibigay pa rin po ang national. So, ngayon po ay hindi na gagawin ng national yung pagbibigay po ng assistance. However, yung sinabi po ni Gov. Kua kanina na ay, kung pwedeng meron pa rin kahit papano na konting pera na ibibigay pa rin sa mga special cases. So yun po, sir. But definitely, you're right, sir. All of these services and programs were really devolved during the first devolution. It just so happened, sir, na some programs were still handled by the department in the thought, sir, that it will be in augmentation form. So, para pong ganun, sir. Kaya lang ngayon, sir, wala na pong titira tungkol, sir, sa services that will be given to persons with disabilities, street children, and some of those who are in crisis situations, sir, that are already handled by the local government po. So that goes din po, sir, sa recovery and reintegration program po ng traffic persons. Though dito po sa recovery and reintegration, sir, meron pa rin pagtutulungan po ang national and local dahil po sa mga enforcement ng ibang laws that will need the assistance po of the national government. But the management po will already be fully implemented by the local government unit, and we will just be helping po. Parang ganun po. So, in fact, kahit yung livelihood, supplemental feeding, older persons, nasa inyo naman po talaga.
Yeah, so you're saying, Director, that it is a shared responsibility or function
Yes,
with respect to traffic persons.
Yes,
It's
sir.
a shared responsibility. So,
Yes.
hindi talaga full devolution yun because you will still be there, di ba? So, the participation of the regional offices and the national agency there, and coordinated with there. National government, national agency, and provincial office, no? Correct? With
Yes, sir.
respect to traffic. Okay. So how about the other programs like SLP? Are these services being rendered now by the provincial government not fully are they not fully covering all these services rendered with respect to SLP? Meaning to say, again, the question is, we are practically doing all these services with respect to the SLP, and what will still have to be devolved to us? That's the same question. So we really want to be clarified on this because we feel that we're doing practically all the services that are supposed to be subject of full devolution. What are the other services that were left out or still remain with the regional agencies and you want it devolved now? Ano yan with respect to sustainable livelihood program? What are those services?
Sir, yung sa SLP po, nagbibigay pa rin po kasi ang national government ng capital assistance or seed capital pa rin po. At sila pa rin po yung gumagawa ng trainings, organizing, parang naging direct service po kasi yun. Done by the DSWD personnel. But once the sustainable livelihood po is devolved, wala na po, ang monitoring na lang po ang gagawin ng aming ahensya. Wala na pong pera at wala na rin pong tao.
Yeah, okay. No, I just want to be clarified because practically almost all the services being performed by the provincial office will be practically the same services after the full devolution in 2022. So,
yes, sir.
Parang there's no difference at all. What probably we would like to ask is that these funds that will be used to finance projects and programs be devolved to the LGU so that we will have more discretion in implementing it. Kesa yung naiiwan doon yung funds sa inyo, di ba? You might as well bring down devolve also the funds because that's the full essence of the genuine devolution. It's not only the services that will have to be devolved. The very funds that will be used for the implementation of the programs and projects should be also devolved so that we'll be able to expedite the successful implementations of these programs and projects. Parang baliwala din Wala namang meaning sa amin siguro ito. Well, sorry to say that because we're practically doing the same services. And worse, we will be required to absorb some of your personnel in the regional offices probably if they want to, or that we will be forced to hire new people when actually we feel we're comfortable with the people we have right now, di ba? So I believe the position will be that pati yung funds that are needed for the programs and projects should be downloaded already. That's the essence of genuine devolution and decentralization. Parang baliwala rin ito Di ba? And in addition, nabigyan pa kami ng additional na expenses when we feel we will be able to do this, perform these functions even without additional personnel. So, I believe that will be our position. The decentralization or devolution of the functions should be coupled with the that will be used for the projects and programs. Kasi I encountered a clarification.
Thank you very much, sir, for your comments. We will consider, sir, yung mga sinabi niyo po for how we will be putting it on the ground, sir. Kasi tama po yung sinabi niyo, sir, na lahat po ito actually ginagawa niyo na. At ito naman po talaga yung na-devolve na. Kaya lang, sir, yung yung pera, kasama po yun, sir, sa ide-devolve na rin. Kaya po, hindi na kami pwedeng implement, sir, ng mga street children, persons with disabilities, AICs, recovery and reintegration, supplemental feeding to an extent, sir, we will already have no more funds, sir, to use because all of this will already be, the funds that are allotted for this will all go down to the LGUs po. So, yun po yung mangyayari. So, liliit po yung pondo ng DSWD. Yun po yung yung po ang direction na pinupuntahan po ng DSWD. Kaya po, ang magiging program na lang niya ay steering role na lang po siya, sir. So, kukunti na lang yung kanyang pondo. Magiging regulatory and policy making and technical assistance. If there will be resource augmentation, sir, maliit na lang din po, sir. At yung mga priority will be the 5th and 6th class municipalities na pwede na lang pong tulungan kasi yung aming pong pondo, hindi na po siya kakasya. But of course, sir, the 4 Ps will still remain, sir. That will be maybe still the biggest money that we will have on sa programs po ng DSWD. So bilang na po, sir, yung may iwan na programa at lahat po ng pera for these programs listed sa screen po will already be downloaded to the LGUs. I think kaya lang po, sir, as you said po, magiging era na siya. Parang ganun po siya. Except, sir, for Kalahi Seeds, since we still have 3 years po dahil meron pong pondo na utang sa World Bank, so kaya po siya hindi pwedeng i-devolve pa. So yung pong transition po nung 3 years na yun, sir, funded po ng World Bank. Ang isang trabaho po, sir, ng DSWD later, sir, is to really resource mobilization. And doon lang siguro, sir, pwede ulit kaming makatulong po ng funding requirements sa LGUs. But generally, sir, most of our funds will already be downloaded to the LGUs. Thank you po, sir.
Yes. So, ma'am, we'll just respond po to additional queries po from the chat box from Executive Director Sayo from ULAP. So the concern po is on the convergence of programs designed as interventions in the LGUs with high incidence of poverty and social vulnerability. So with the full devolution po, the question is, what will happen to these LGUs when the convergence programs are stopped by the national government agencies?
Convergence programs. Yeah. For the convergence programs, it will still continue, but of course, there will be some modifications that will be discussed on how this will be implemented already. So, yun yung mga kailangan pang himayin po. Ito po yung sinasabi lang, i-unbundle pa rin so that we could make it clear to everyone. But rest assured na pagka ito po ay naklaro din on our end, we will already discuss it with you again. Because since an interagency, it needs the thoughts of the other agencies on this point. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And then another po, still from ED Sayo, noting po that 26% of the LGUs are deemed not ready to handle the devolved social welfare services, does DSWD have any transition plan and capacitation program for those LGUs, especially the calamity vulnerable low-income LGUs?
Yes. Thank you. Yes, sir. Actually, we are still in the process of crafting the transition plan, and one of the major programs or activities or projects that will be placed on the PAPs really will be technical assistance for capacitating our people on the ground, especially yung nagsabi nga na 26% na hindi pa ready. We will have to look in this, maybe talk to them where they are hard up. So yun po yung specialized na pagbibigay po ng technical assistance. And yung nga po, pagka 6th class or 6th and 5th class, 5th and 6th class, sila po yung tututukan po ng assistance. But of course, it's also written naman po sa ating GMC, sa ating pag-uusap na dapat, it will still be the LGUs who would request the assistance from us. So if they need assistance, if we will not, if it's either tayo, it will be the DSWD who will reach out or the LGU will reach out for assistance po sa DSWD. But for the 26%, we will be the first to reach out and try to find out what is causing them to say that they are not ready to implement the devolved services po. And we will provide the technical assistance or other other resources that they might need po. We will work hand in hand with them po. And of course with you as our partners.
Thank you, ma'am. And then, ma'am, as a rejoinder po dun sa observation or recommendation of Governor Velasco earlier, also from ED Sayo, for us to consider, instead of indicating full devolution vis-a-vis the programs, it would be better to indicate that such programs at the national level that would have to be stopped and the funds therefore transferred as part of the NPA of the LGUs. So we will take note of this recommendation, sirs. And then there are a number of comments on the mapping activity. So we will schedule a specific session on this, considering po that we have not finished processing all the data. So initially po, may concerns sila Ma'am Veron and also Ma'am Angelica on this. So we will directly coordinate po with the leads, EDs and staff to provide the necessary data on the mapping activity.
Thank you. Yes. Rest assured that we will share with you once na natapos na yung ating pag-analyze ng papers. So tama po. Thank you very much for the recommendation. We will take note of that and we will consider all of this in the crafting of the transition plan. We will, as Director Hannah said, we will contact you again for your time for us to discuss the whole, if the study is already finished. So probably by this month, matatapos na po namin yung buong 100% na respondents, and we will already call for the interpretation of the data and for your comments and recommendations. Thank you, Ma'am Bernie.
Ma'am, isa na lang po. Pwede po.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go.
So, kung pwede ko lang pong yung aking comments earlier, in short po, yung inyong pag-devolve, sinusupport ko po yung sinabi ni ED Sayo na sana mas clear kung ang ibig sabihin ba ng full devolution ay bibitawan nyo na po ba at iaasa nyo na po lahat sa LGU. Kung ganun nga po, meron lang akong reservation na sana hindi naman totally na hindi na magpondo ang national government. Kasi nga po, hindi po magiging equal na binaba nyo sa LGU ay yung buong amount na yun ay pwede namin gamitin for the same service. Kasi nga, we have statutory obligations on whatever portion we receive as national, our share from national taxes. So yun po, una, hindi po talaga, kunwari nagbaba kayo ng 4 billion, ay 4 billion ang gagamitin ng mga LGUs. Hindi po talaga. So para hindi po ma-displace yung stakeholders or beneficiaries, sana po meron pa rin. And we do accept that you will roll out or download or devolve the implementation as much as you want and as much as you can. I think that's fine. Pero sana po mag-iwan pa rin ng capability to implement ang mga region at mga field offices at least to augment certain activities that are really very, very large in scale. So para hindi naman po, siyempre whole of the nation pa rin naman po. So yun lang po yung dalawa lang na punto na gusto ko lang po ulit i-submit sa inyo. Thank you po ulit.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. We have still part of the program, sir, is yung resource augmentation. Meron pa rin po, sir. Pero yun nga, hindi na siya kasing laki nung ating pondo ngayon. So, meron pa rin, sir, but medyo meron na siyang mga limitations and may mga criteria na siguro, sir, na mailalagay for the resource augmentation. But rest assured, sir, we still have that as part of our function. That's why it's called TARA, Technical Assistance and Resource Augmentation po. Yes. Thank you po, sir, for reiterating that. And we will consider that, sir.
Salamat po.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, from the chat box po, last one, ma'am, from Biron. What we're learning from COVID and this group is that the location of the needy and vulnerable are necessarily located in the lower income LGUs. So most of them in the urban areas. Let's keep in mind that when we are designing assistance programs for the vulnerable sectors. So yun, ma'am. So,
yes, ma'am. Well noted po. Well taken, ma'am. We will do that.
So ma'am, at this point po, nothing specific na po on the chat box. Maybe last call po from the online participants for the comments. Yes.
Maybe, yes, yes, ma'am, Sandra.
Naglagay po rin ako sa chat box. May we just be informed exactly how many of the DSWD personnel handling these programs will be terminated, ganun po ba? Or transferred? Ilan po exactly? May we know po, ma'am?
Yeah.
The budget.
Yes, ma'am. We apologize. We are still in the process of really going through the inventory of our personnel that will be probably displaced or will have to be devolved. Pero yun po, we will inform you po, ma'am, once na makuha po namin yung exact number. Ongoing pa po yung inventory. Hopefully, ma'am, sa next meeting natin, meron na kaming ibibigay sa inyo na number po, if that's okay with you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. And then last po, yung sa binigay po ng DPM sa amin, sa presentation ni Director Alice Macaspac, parang nakalagay po for DSWD is around 18.2 billion for the 2020 GAA. Yun pong part ng funds to be sourced for the NTA adjustment. May we confirm that amount if it's at 18.2 billion, ma'am?
Ma'am, wala po kaming knowledge pa on that. I mean, wala pong, so far ma'am, wala pa kaming nakuha.
Oh, I'm surprised kasi yun po yung pinrovide ng DBM sa
Yes,
amin.
wala pa ma'am sa amin binigay kung magkano. Ang sinabi lang sa amin as of now is to come up with the transition plan and submit it on the 12th of this month. Yung pa lang po ang sinabi. So hindi pa namin. Probably ma'am, kung nakuha nyo na, then at least kami po yung at least nalaman namin. Wala
Yes,
pa.
I can provide you, ma'am.
18 billion.
18.2 billion.
18.2. Ano yung mga FMS? Any more? Any more from our participants? Any queries?
Asset Joyce, meron po ng League of Cities.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
Madam, I thank you again for indulging our
Very good.
queries.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
ma'am, yun lang sa timeline natin kasi mentioned April 12. We got kasi information that draft EO is already being routed and I know nauuna tayo dun sa transition plans natin, ma'am. And then the EO, kasi kami naghihintay pa rin po kami ng EO hanggang ngayon, ASEC. Baka lang meron kang mas updated na information?
Ma'am Viv, wala pa rin EO na binibigay sa amin. Actually, yung last na information is still with the OP. So, but the DBM already gave us yesterday a memo that we will have to come up with the transition plan and submit it on the 12th of this month. So, but without yet the signed EO. We don't have yet that one. Wala pa man. Any more? Do we have other? Meron pa po ba? Well, I think if wala na for
I'm
now.
Asek Joyce.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Andrea po from LMP. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, we'd just like to know po kung saan nanggaling yung data nyo about yung 43% na sinasabi po ng DSWD na ready na yung mga LGUs natin for devolution.
Yes, ma'am. Kasi ma'am, we conducted a mapping survey to our local social welfare offices, and in that survey, it came out na yun po yung nag-agree na they are ready to receive po yung mga programs and services. Also, there was a study conducted at Pulse Asia, and it came out the same po, that the 69% of those that they have, the respondents says that they are ready for the devolution. And,
yes, Asek Joyce, opo, if we also po, no, kung okay lang, if we can ask sana yung data kung sino-sino po yung mga LGUs na nagsasabing ready na sila.
Yes, we can share that, ma'am. But as I said, we still have, we're only 72%. Once that we will finish the 100% respondents, we will share it with you. If that's okay, ma'am.
Okay, Asek. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we have other queries? Kung wala na, we would just like to share the summary of what we have discussed. May we ask
Sorry.
share?
Ma'am,
Yes,
can
ma'am.
you formally
Yes, ma'am.
request a copy of the recording of this meeting?
Yes, sure, ma'am. Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you po, ma'am. So for this actually what we have agreed on is that we will have a separate discussion, will be conducted to further discuss the details. For the final mapping results, we will send it to you once it's done, and we will call for a meeting within this, and to provide a clear definition of the full devolution and use the word and ensure the SWD allocation to implement the services. As suggested, we have to put clearly if it is stop the programs, or really still follow through with the implementation of the programs. The SWD to provide capacity building activities to LGUs. Yes, I think especially for the low income class. And that includes, of course, the resource augmentation as stated in the last, which is the SWD to provide details on the affected human resources who will be devolved and what is the corresponding budget. For the resource augmentation.
Ma'am, can we comment on that portion?
Yes, ma'am.
Kasi sa agreements ito baka ma-misconstrue. Kasi pwedeng ilagay na lang po natin dyan, who will be displaced. Kasi if we say devolved, it is presuming that we are accepting.
Okay, sige po. Yes.
It really depends on the LGU.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We will, and of course, yung resource augmentation.
And then DSWD to continue to provide capacity building activities. Kasi ginagawa niyo naman po yan, di ba?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Any more po?
To be displaced. Ayan. Pwede rin natin pang ilagay na this will depend on the capacity of the LGU to absorb. Kasi we cannot commit naman po depende po sa LGU.
Yes, ma'am. Agree.
On the capacity and willingness of the LGU, because ultimately sila ang may autonomy to decide.
Correct. Yes. Any more, ma'am? Any more po? Are we good? Wala na po ba tayong comments?
Joyce, yun lang number 3. Siguro baka pwede lang dagdagan ng augmentation to LG. Kasi po may mention ka kanina that there's need to request. Tapos especially, yung may preference lang for low income. But pwede basta mag-request sa DSWD. I think that will be provided also.
Yeah. Okay, yes ma'am. Fund request.
And lastly, ma'am, when we had our consultation with Secretary Avisado, he made it clear to the governors that this is really just a fiscal devolution. It's just the funds that will be transferred to comply with the decision. Wala daw pong new functions or programs to be devolved. That was made clear. I just want it on record.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. We okay po. Do we have any more comments? Wala na? I think kung wala na, I think we will do our best to comply. We will just go back again to the drawing board and discuss all the comments and recommendations that we have heard and expressed. And we will, if it's okay with you, if we could call you again for another round of discussions, so that once we will come up with our transition plan, we could say that we have discussed this with all our stakeholders. If that is okay with our partners, with users and MABs. Okay po ba yun? So, si Gob po, is it okay, sir, if we will have another round later, if we'll finish all what, we will try, sir, to consider all what was discussed here. And if it's okay with you, sir, we will again request an audience with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes.
very much, sir.
Thank you, Sec Josie. Thank you, DSWD, and all the leagues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And all the league representatives, our EDs, of course, to our Governor Velasco and Sir Kuwat Governor, salamat ng marami. And we apologize again for what happened earlier. We are sad about that too, sir. So thank you for understanding. And thank you for all your comments, your recommendations, and all the discussion that have undergone this afternoon. I think it's very fruitful, and it will help us come up with our transition plan better. As I said, thank you again for accepting that we will discuss one more time before we finalize our transition plan. So with this, we say thank you very much, and God bless everyone. Our governors for being here. Your time is very precious, but thank you very much for giving time to us. Our EDs, our leagues, thank you for being here. Our technical DWG members, thank you. And please stay safe. God bless us all. And may we overcome this pandemic together. Thank you po.